Mayo Clinic reports approximately 15 million people in the U.S. are struggling with at least one autoimmune disorder, but an even smaller number of people are battling multiple autoimmune disorders all at once. I am joined today by Tessa Muldoon, who is one of those people affected. Tessa, thank you so much for joining us
You're
today.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I understand that your battle with autoimmune disorders has been ongoing really for several years, but it took quite some time to even get a diagnosis. Can you kind of walk me through what that was like?
So in 2011, I started having some issues with my ears itching really bad. And then my skin started itching really bad, and I started turning red, and it looked like I had a sunburn constantly. And I didn't think much of it other than maybe it was eczema, because that's what they told me. So I just continued on with the eczema protocols, and then I got pregnant with my second daughter, and after I got pregnant with her, things kind of chilled out and I didn't really have any issues. But as soon as I had her, things came back 10 times worse than what they were. And that was in 2016. In 2016, I had her. 6 months later, I ended up having a hysterectomy due to endometriosis, which is a connective tissue disorder. And we thought that that would be it. It would be fine after that. And nothing was fine. Things kept getting worse, and finally I did some research from my family, and it turned out that lupus ran in our family. So I decided to do some research on that, and I asked to get tested for that. The doctors thought I was crazy. You know, Dr. House had made that something that was wild for everyone to think, but it was always lupus in Dr. House. And so I thought it was crazy too, but I thought, well, what's the hurt in trying? So I ended up getting a skin biopsy done, and when I did, they came back and said that I had autoimmune diseases, but it didn't come back as lupus. And the doctor that I had no idea what it was, so they ended up sending me to a rheumatologist. And that rheumatologist in 2017 had diagnosed me with dermatomyositis, which is a connective tissue, but it's also an autoimmune disorder. So from 2011 to 2017, I had zero answers. But after 2017, things got even more intense. And I had contacted the Myositis Association because I was really confused at what was going on. And there were no doctors that had ever heard of what that was. And if you go to an ER, they have no clue how to treat chronic illness, let alone something that's very rare. And so I ended up going to Johns Hopkins, and I have been getting a lot of help there. And I get infusions, which I'm getting one now. But I get infusions for that, and it has been a very long journey. And then this year we found out that my daughter, my youngest daughter, also has some connective tissue disorders as well that go along with the autoimmune disorders. So we're battling that with that now too.
Well, hopefully your experience, you know, you have, I'm sure, a lot of experience that's going to be helpful in helping her as well. Just going through some of that yourself. So there's so many layers to your story, and I wish that we could have all of the time in the world to get to all of it. But, you know, you've really become an advocate for yourself and for others. You've written a book. You've built an audience online. So talk about what led you to speak up for yourself and ultimately for other people.
It was the emotional issues that my kids were having. They were so afraid that something was going to happen and I was going to ultimately die. And that comes along with it. The mental health aspect of it is very hard. And I watched them struggle, and I said, you know what? Let's start doing things that are on our bucket lists. I am deathly afraid of snakes, and I held one.
You're not the only one.
I held one for the first time last year, and I was like, you know what? If I can do this, I can do anything.
Yes.
But I had been in the process of writing a book. I didn't tell anyone, but I had been in the process of writing a book because it was helping me process my feelings about it all. And I said, I'm gonna publish this, and I did. I published it, and I told everybody the day that I published it, and all my friends and family, and they were like, seriously? And it actually took off a little bit better than what I thought it was going to. And the character in it, I mean, it's about me, but the main book character is the Spoonie Ninja. And I decided that with how my daughter is going through things and how hard it is to explain to children, that I ended up wanting to write a children's book with it as well. So that's in the process. It's not done, but I am working on a series of the Spoonie Ninja children's books as well.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is no easy feat. And I'm already being told that we are running out of time, but I really want to get to how next week you're going to be going before Congress and telling your story. So quickly, could you tell us, what that means to you, why you decided to do that, and what is your message to them?
I am going to Congress. I got picked to be an advocate because my story kind of hit better than what I thought, but the PAN Foundation is sending me with others to go and speak with Congress about laws that can help people that are disabled or have health issues, and so we will be trying to push them to give a little bit more and advocate for other people who can't advocate for themselves.
Well, that is, incredible and very inspiring, and I think that your story will touch and help a lot of other people. Where can people find you online? And again, tell us the title of your book so that people want to see it, that they can read it.
The title of my book is Spoonie Ninja: Finding Strength in the Shadows. And you can find me as Tesla's Fighting Chance on Instagram and TikTok, and I am also on TikTok as Spoonie Ninja.
Okay, well, thank you so much again. Congratulations on all of your achievements, and I think that we would love to have you back to discover more about you and talk more about you, because your story is so inspiring, and we will be hopefully getting back in touch with you after Congress. So congratulations and good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
All right, we will be right back.